Wesley said, no, this is
must be winning as
terrible.
well.
This is terrible. Yeah. I was about to suggest rook e1, a4 in a very,
Oh my gosh.
luxurious fashion.
Yeah, just crush.
And Darius heard you and took on e5 and is hoping that this somehow saves himself, but
yeah,
unfortunately, we don't believe it.
There's no rule you have to take that rook on f8 right away.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not taking it right. No,
not a chance.
The question for me is this. I want to take the bishop. Obviously, the bishop that bishop on g7 is such a key defender. I cannot overstate the case. Just take the bishop for the pawn. I just gift the pawn. And now I'm asking the queen where she would like to go. If she goes here, then I'll chase you and I'll take this pawn back. I'll take that pawn and I'll go f6. And if you go here, oops, that's where
you got a lot of arrows and here's and there's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm expecting queen d6.
The queen d6, bishop f4 looks.
F4 looks
the most
great. Yeah, scrumptious.
Killing.
Queen f6, there's bishop e5.
That reminds me of Irina Krush's wonderful win, where she first went bishop h6. Remember that? And then bishop back to d2, and then bishop to c3, got her bishop on the long diagonal and won a beautiful game. A rook behind, by the way. This is scrumptious. You're right. The bishop.
But fascinating, right? Wesley took quite some time sitting here as though he was slightly surprised by this last move. You would think he would have anticipated this sacrifice, but he finally decided, let me just get rid of your bishop and play what looks like completely dominant chess in this position.
Well, the other thing is if the queen doesn't hover around to protect the pawn on e7, like just for argument's sake, just goes back, then you can just see that this is an automatic pattern. Everybody has that in their repertoire. You put your pawn on f6, your queen on h6, and you go checkmates, but splat. So I suspect that when Wesley played e5, he did it a la tempo, and then he thought, if I had included, like, seriously, if you have included rook e1 in the move a4, it's pretty devastating, right? So Wesley looks good to go 5-0. Sorry, Jen, jump right in.
Oh no, sorry to interrupt, but we have a draw underway in the game between Elshan and Hikaru. Hikaru might be drawing himself out of contention.
Absolutely.
Because 5-0. And so what happened was you guys liked Elshan's position, but
we did.
Somehow maybe
it's not only Wesley. I mean, Jeffrey's on fire, Ray's on fire. Those players,
all of them.
Those players, right? He's got to bring them all back. Like when he sees all of these guys have to be brought back to earth, because you can't hope, okay, Wesley might collapse, now I'll win.
I was just looking at, sorry guys, gift me my pawn, bishop takes c5, because I'm eyeballing bishop takes f6 followed by h6, and we talk f6. We talk about the alpha 0 pawn on h6, where the king and queen can get gummied up by just a pawn on h6. Pawns on f6 are much, much stronger than the pawn on h6.
Look at this. Wesley's not satisfied by what looked like a completely crushing position, but he's repeated moves for some reason. Why do you think that is? Because there's no way he's taking a draw. No way. I'm betting. I'm betting the house.
Yeah, in the old days of the Soviet Union, the Soviet players were literally trained, in the pioneer palaces to repeat the positions one time. It was a way of saying to the opponent, I'm the guy in charge. I'm the one calling the shots. You're fiddling to my tune. And that's still carried on. You still see it among some of the top players today, that they, even in a very, very overwhelming position like Wesley has, they repeat once just to tell the opponent, I'm the guy in charge. And by the way, we do have...
And by the way, I don't like philosophy, because I think in our commentary work, we've seen at least 2 or 3 repetitions by accident where people thought it was 2 and it was actually 3.
They overdid it. Yeah.
Many times. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that's not a lot, like 3 out of hundreds of games, but then you weigh that against the chance that it's really going to make a difference in your tournament. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's not everybody's it's not something everybody should do or anything like that. I'm just saying I would know it from, you know, my experience when I was up against Soviet players. It was like absolutely routine. And it was almost like, you know, you see, he is the professional player. By the way, we do have Rook C8 on the board. I'm just putting an example line of what I'm expecting from Wesley, and that's bishop takes e7, queen d4 check, what else? Otherwise, f6, this queen is going to find herself buried. Queen d4 check, king h1, rook takes c4, again, one of those what else's kind of situations, and then takes, and you put your bishop on this long diagonal, and that's all she wrote. This is like, how many ways to checkmate?
Yeah, how many ways to win here, guys? I'm also thinking about taking on g6 and then taking on e7 with the rook, because we're going to be, you know, in this position after rook c8, take on g6 and then take on e7 with the rook, and you know, you're totally losing there, because if rook c5, I take twice and then I have queen f2 at the end. So
that's a nice one. I like that one, Jen. You snare that rook over there.
No. I got fancier than that. I want to get in on this action, please.
There's a line behind you, Maurice.
That's right.
You got to take a number. Take a number.
What I want to do, put your bishop back on e7, please. I want to get real fancy. Get that position back up, please, because I had an idea myself.
I got it for you.
This one right here. After bishop e7, queen d4. Let's keep that line going. Bishop e7.
Okay.
Queen d4.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank, you play rook c4. I want to sack on f7. I just want to be completely ridiculous and sack on f7. That's what I want to do. And then sack on g6. No. Fancy, man. Did I say fancy? That's mating. Who cares? Because queen a6, he might play queen g7, and slow me down.
Okay.
You didn't have to. This is what I want to do. Now, how do you get out of this one?
Well, he did play bishop e7, by the way. So he did.
Now I want to play bishop f6 and challenge you to save yourself. Of course, this is completely irresponsible, but if we're going to get fancy, I got rook e7 and queen g7 on tap.
I could deal with the queen g7. It was the rook e7 that looked like hurt.
By the way, we got the moves. Bishop e7 has been played. It looks like.
Oh, and look at this finish. The bishop took an f5 and he sacked. I mean, he had no reason to do this, but he's got the fancy disease that I've got. I mean, look at this position that he opted for.
Okay, so he went bishop takes, check, king, bishop takes f5, rook takes f5, and this is what Wesley is playing for. Check, queen g7, queen. So queen again, he's threatening. Oh my gosh, this is overkill as well. d6 and d7, oh my God. f6.
I was going to play rook a6. Hello, could I please get in the game somehow? But this d6 move. Oh my God, rook hanging.
You got a rook hanging.
Okay, so I can't play rook c6. I can't play rook a6.
Queen g6.
Oh.
And queen g6, we just go back to f3 or something, and
or maybe h3. This is sick. This is terrible.
This is the same fancy stuff. I'm just going to beat you any which way. You're not surviving this ridiculous position. Horrible. Wesley So is starting to dominate people, guys. He's making it not even look close.
But guys, black is up in exchange.
You're right.
Man. I guess we have to reassess this position.
Well, I think it's Jeremy Silman's How to Reassess Your Game. Right now, the exchange is not as good as it used to be, Jen.
You call the knight on c3 a prime square.
And it is. Put the king on b2 or a1, and I'll show you why. In this case, the knight is really far from the act. wow, let's leave this game alone and we'll jump to Jeffrey. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. And right now, just looking at this final position, you just go, oh my goodness, what a shellacking poor Darius just took. Oof.
No, I'm going to say, you know, results matter, of course, but we have to be fair to the game itself, right? Wesley did win a couple of games that his opponents could have played much better.
That's right.
Wesley did blow the position against Sam at one point, right? He gave Sam a chance. He let Sam in the game. Right. So let's not say he's playing perfect chess. Let's not overestimate that. But this game that he played right now, this is
really good.
Beat down, start to finish. I'm coming to get you. I don't care what you're sacking, what you put in my way. This is how it gets done. This one was pure.
Impressive.
This one, we'll say, okay, we can, if Wesley goes on to win this and it looked with a 5-0 start, it looks like he has all rights to expect that. You can put this in the article now. We don't know what he's going to do in the next 6 rounds. But this one, you can put in the article. Look what he's done with the Whiteys.
I like the one with Shanklin. It might be imperfect, but it was so inspired, and just being down a full rook and playing some quiet moves, man. That was
of course.